Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. You're watching Planting Ashley, and this is Raven. Today I'm going to be showing you my entire houseplant collection. In my houseplant collection, I have 59 plants. And I do just want to say you are going to see me wearing this in probably every single video until I give birth at the end of January, beginning of February, around there. This is the only shirt I have right now that fits me. And it's really comfortable, literally living in it, and I wash it every single day. I'm gonna be telling you about all of my houseplants in my collection. I think let's just jump into it because it's gonna take a while to run through. We do only have 59 plants, which is a major decline. I think the last time I made this video, I had like over 150, and the time before that I had like 300. So I've been slowly like working my collection down to something that's actually manageable so that I don't just like lose the ability to have plants once I have my baby. Only the plants that I absolutely love and adore. And yeah, I think let's just get into it. This is gonna be a super chill video, so I hope you enjoy seeing my plant collection. We're gonna go ahead and start with my Syngonium collection. In my Syngonium collection, I have Syngonium red spot tricolor, Syngonium pink spot, Syngonium mojito, Syngonium albo, Syngonium faustino, Syngonium lance leaf, and Syngonium aurea. And I'm gonna show them to you. They're all sitting right here. You can't see them, but they're all right here. This is my Syngonium podophyllum albo variegata. I love it. Something about this plant has just always been really exciting to me. Every time I see it, I feel like I need to buy it at the store. But this specific one I got from my friend Devin like way back when. And it is a little rough right now because it did get a little dry. Okay, I did accidentally neglect it a tiny itty bitty little bit. It's so cute. Then we have my Syngonium aurea, and this one was doing amazing. The problem was I was keeping it in a little terracotta pot, like a 3-inch or like 2.5-inch terracotta pot. It dried out so much. My most successful Syngonium, I actually keep in glass bowls or in cups, like things that don't have any drainage. So I moved this to this pot, which looks like it has drainage, but it doesn't. It's completely enclosed, and it is giving us a new leaf, which is so cute. Oh, that's adorable. I love it. I wish I could show you what it looked like before, because it was a showstopper. It looked a lot like a scrambled eggs, except that it wasn't a scrambled eggs. That's actually, I think, the only Syngonium I would add to my collection. If I could find a scrambled egg that wasn't $300 still, that would be great. Also, part of the tripod is on the couch, so you may see it shake sometimes when Raven is a cat. Like that. Meow, meow. Mm-hmm. This is Syngonium faustino, and it's kind of like a minty green on green vibe. This one is also giving me a new leaf. It's very hard for you to see, but there's a little lip sticking out right there. And this one suffered when I had that really bad depression week. Syngonium really like a lot of water all of the time, so me not watering it that week definitely did some damage. It had like 4 leaves, but we are recovering. We're coming back stronger than we were before. Then we have this big one, and this is Syngonium pink spot, and I actually got this at Home Depot. It was in a bucket of normal green Syngonium podophyllum. Oh, look at the roots sticking out of the bottom. And this was actually a sport variegation of that normal Syngonium. No, it was the green, it was the pink one. It was the all pink Syngonium. And then this one had like splashing, and all the pink on it is really faded, but I wish I could show it to you when the pink first comes in because it is so bright. It is getting progressively more green though as it gets bigger, but I don't really care because it's really pretty. It's definitely, I think it's my most bushiest Syngonium. And we've come a long way because I used to not be able to grow Syngonium. Oh, and all my Syngonium, I thrifted these saucers. I keep them all on these saucers, which is better than using those icky plastic ones. And then also they're just cuter. We have my Syngonium Mojito, which is really depression. This is one I would have loved to show you. It had that bad week. I don't even know if it's worth showing you because it just looks really bad. But, and this leaf is completely green. This has no variegation on it. But I keep it in here. And it was doing really good, but it got really, really, really dry. I cleaned it up. We're coming back. We're pregnant. Hashtag twins. It's a work in progress, and you know what? All these plants with one leaf, listen, it'll be so fun to do plant updates because there's gonna be so many new leaves and it won't look so bad. The next one is Syngonium lance leaf, and you wouldn't know it, but this one also wasn't doing the best. It lost 2 leaves and it's currently unfurling right now. It does look so cute in this little cup though, I can't. That's literally so cute. Oh my gosh. Little guy. I love that one. Then we have probably my second to favorite Syngonium. It's honestly a toss-up between this one and my Syngonium albopodophyllum. The albopodophyllum is just such a classic, but this is my Syngonium red spot tricolor. And this is one I'm really proud of because instead of purchasing this one, like everybody else had to, I actually was able to trade for this. And I really like the growth pattern of this Syngonium. You can see how tightly bunched all of the nodes are in there, which is very unlike Syngonium Mojito, for example, where all the nodes are like really spaced out and all over the place. So this one, it grows very like tight, and I really like that look personally. It's so pretty. It has the white mixed with the red and then the light green and sometimes mint, and it is just like a total gem. This leaf, amazing. And I have it in my cute little rainbow pot. I don't know, I love, love, love this one. And this is air layering. I do need to re-air layer my plants just to like get it better. And this air layer is kind of just barely holding on. And then we are getting a new leaf. I love this plant. Highly, highly recommend this plant. So glad I didn't pay $2,000 for it. So glad I waited until I could find someone who would trade me for it. So those are all of my Syngonium. Now let's talk Monstera. So I have 9 different Monstera. I have Monstera deliciosa, Monstera deliciosa albo, Monstera deliciosa aurea, Monstera deliciosa Thai constellation, Monstera adamsanii mint, Monstera adamsanii albo, Monstera Peru variegata, Monstera siltepecana, and Monstera obliqua Peru. So let me go ahead and get those out and I'll be right back. I have located and moved all of my Monstera around, so allow me to tell you about them now. Let's start with our small guys. So we have Monstera Thai constellation. This is actually my mom's plant. My mom actually took home with her on accident. They're very pretty. She picked out good ones. I do like the one that I picked out better, but I'm taking care of this for her and she's bringing me mine when she comes to visit for Christmas here soon, so we'll get to swap back. But look at all of the amazing growth on the roots. It's literally soaked up like all of the moss that's in there, and I keep this in a jar just for the extra humidity, and it keeps the moss really nice. I obviously don't put a lid on this. There is no room for a lid, but this is my little Tycon. I would really like to have a really big one. Either I grow mine into a big one, or the big ones eventually become cheap enough that I can buy one for like, I don't know, 20 bucks or something. Then let's talk about my Monstera species Peru aurea, and I am truly, well and truly obsessed with this plant. If you've been following my plant journey for a bit though, you'd know that we recently had a bit of a burn accident. So that's why a lot of the leaves are kind of cut, because the browning that occurred was spreading. But we do have 2 new leaves that are coming in. Well, technically we have 3. There's another little one sticking in through there. But it is so pretty. This is probably tied for my favorite plant in my collection, to be honest. I just really love it. I wish I could show you it in its full glory. But alas, we are stuck with this, so I still like it. Then we have one of my Monstera adansonii Indonesian mints, but I think it's getting bleached. It looks very like yellow for just coming in. I don't know if you can see it. It may just be coming over for me, but yeah, we did just get this brand new leaf, and this was originally from a cutting of Devon's plant. And I have a smaller version of this that I am keeping in a jar, which I'll show you in just a second, but I think I'm actually gonna move this away from the light. I think it's getting a little too tall, and I think that this new leaf is getting burned. Ideally, I grow this out to be like really, really, really long. Let me show you my other adansonii Indonesian mint. This one is so cute. So cute. Look at it. That's so, yeah. Look at how cute the little new leaf is that's coming in. It's so pretty. I love the little pot. I keep this one in a jar with a lid, so it just goes right in here like that in its little home. And I did get these jars from Hobby Lobby, by the way. Oh, that's so good. Little friend, I love it. That's my, oh, yikes. That's my Indonesian mint. And then behind me, we have my Monstera adansonii albo variegata, which is this guy. It's kind of hard for me to show it to you fully. Every time I take it out, it always like throws a fit when I try to put it back in. And this is a different type of variegation. They're both variegated adansonii, but this one's variegation is like pure white. And that new leaf that's coming in looks amazing. So very excited to see that. Put her right back in there. And this is actually in a peppercini jar. Mezzetta. Then we have the one I grow on a plate. And normally I have another plant that's in here, which I'll be telling you about later, but I took it off so that way we could just look at this plant for now. And this is my very interesting Monstera deliciosa aurea, and I have been growing this just with moisture. I do fertilize it, but all of this has occurred just by me keeping it in a really moist environment. And we have this whole growth point that's coming in. This is the weirdest way I have definitely ever grown something. This was from Devon. I mean, pretty much I feel like everything at this point is just like from Devon originally, but yeah, it's really happy. It has super fuzzy roots, and these roots that you see that are dying, those are actually its old roots. So I should definitely pot this soon. It's definitely got enough roots to be moved into an actual situation. It's my aurea, and again, normally there is a plant in the middle of here, which I will be telling you about later. All right, let's talk about this guy behind me. This is my Monstera deliciosa albo variegata. And originally I paid $80 for this for 6 leaves. And it has been doing really good. It randomly just got this spot on this leaf down here, and this is actually its oldest leaf. So I'm pretty sure it's just the leaf aging. But this plant is actually really, really interesting because this was a completely reverted Monstera deliciosa albo top cut. So the bottom 2 leaves, this one, and this one that's over here, these were completely green. The old owner cut off the leaves and stuck them in this pot, and then he grew it to, I can't remember, I think it was to this leaf, because it's given me this leaf and then this one. and then this one. And every new leaf has more and more and more variegation, which I'm really excited about. And I also like the variegation on the back of the leaves a lot. It has really nice variegation along the back, and you can actually see the stem is getting more and more. And I actually keep this on the table behind me. Generally it's right here, and these aerial roots are directly over the spout of my humidifier. So even though it doesn't have anything to climb, it's been growing at a really fast and steady pace, simply for the fact that it's constantly always like reaching towards humidity. So we have all these really nice little aerial roots here. And I'm really happy with this. I really, sorry, I found like an old dead bug on here. I'm really satisfied with how this one has done in my care, because I liked the idea of an experiment. The plant was only $80, so $80 for an elbow, even at this time, like of this size, even with its reverted history, like that is quite the steal. So I'm just really happy about this. It is going to be giving me a new leaf soon, and we have a really pretty white stripe going up that petiole right there. So. And that's just like, again, look at this new leaf. I can't. Oh, it's so pretty. Then we have my Monstera, my very large Monstera siltipicana. And this one I'm really proud of, because I was given this plant by my friend, Tasha, and she gave it to me. And when she gave it to me, it wasn't even full in the pot up here, and it wasn't even beginning to hang over the edge. So in my care, it has done all of this in 5 or 6 months, I want to say. And this plant has been like one of my easiest to take care of. It is growing leaves literally like it is huge. It goes forever. It's always giving me a new leaf. Like, it's literally never not throwing hands. And I've been checking it often just to make sure, you know, I feel like I usually see thrips on Monstera, so I've been extra careful for those. But it's winter. I feel like whenever I see thrips, generally it's in the summer. And we have new strands that are growing out the top, which are just really, really pretty. Brand new leaves that are coming out from up here. I'm really proud. I think this is probably the best job I've ever done of like actually growing a plant, which may sound like really depressing, but I have never grown something to be this big from nothing. Literally all of this. Anything that is peeking out over the edge, even a little bit, and some of the leaves in there too. Completely me, all me, dude. And she just gave this one to me too. She just said that she wasn't really feeling it and it wasn't unhappy with her, so she just gave it to me, and it is like one of the nicest gifts I think anyone has ever given me. Literally, even when I hold it up as long as, like, it's so good. So I'm gonna hang this back up, but this is Monstera siltipicana. Kai is doing really good today. By the way, we have a prenatal appointment in a little bit. It's really sticking out. My belly button is like trying to pop out, but it like won't. Okay, and then we have the Oblique Peru. I've actually been growing in here with my Micans Aurea, which we'll talk about later, but I have 3 of these in here, and all of them are doing so good. Here is the one I will show you for now. It's literally this little leaf. There's no holes yet. And I have 2 more of those nodes that are growing in here. And then I have like a baggie full of them. Oh, I can't wait to show you this Micans later. It's so, so, so nice. Literally doing amazing. Okay, this is as far as I can get it out. So that's my little Oblique Peru. This is my oldest one that I have. And I grew it completely from a node from Devon. So it's gonna take a little bit before it is old and pretty and perfect. And that is gonna be all of my Monstera. Let's move on to my Epipremnum. We have 3 Epipremnum. We have Epipremnum Cebu Blue, we have Epipremnum Global Green, and we have Epipremnum Albo. Okay, so I zoomed out a bit just so I could show you this one a bit better. This is my Epipremnum Pinnatum Global Green, also known as a Global Green Pothos, and I've had this for a long time, a very long time, and I try to keep an eye on this one as well, just because there's so many leaves. I don't know, the ones that are a bit bigger, I try extra hard to make sure that they aren't getting anything, you know, prevent issues before they occur. But I wish this one was growing faster. I think I could probably give it better care. I kind of treat all of my plants the same, and I don't think my environment is exactly like the most hospitable for Epipremnum in general. I don't really design it around them, mostly because I'm just not a huge fan of Epipremnum, but I love the Global Green Pothos because of the green on green variegation. I'm a huge fan of yellow and green on green variegation. The white variegation is actually like my least favorite form. This is like my workaround for like a golden pothos. I really don't like the golden pothos, and if this one weren't just this like really pretty green on green, I would probably not be interested. I just feel bad because I know so many people love golden pothos and it's just really not my thing, but I do adore some global green. And it's in this self-watering pot, which I also really like, but I would probably not buy more than one of these pots because they were very expensive, and I don't think that they're that worth the hype. I would have just bought one with no drainage and called it a day. Then we have my Cebu Blue, and this is one of my favorite common plants by far. I just totally adore this. And this one I got specifically from Lowe's. It is from the brand Urban Jungle. And I love this pot. It reminds me of like a clay pitcher. And it's doing really good. It had a setback. Okay, it had a minor setback. I briefly forgot to take care of it. But we have, I think, recovered in full since then. It is incredibly bushy at the top, it's bushy on the sides, has that nice silver sheen still, and it looks really, really good. I love this. This has always been one of my favorite plants to find at the store, and I love that you can find it so easily at the grocery store, and I love that unlike, ooh, I found a mealybug. I love that unlike larger Epipremnum, like the stems are just like a lot smaller. Here's the mealybug if you want to see it. Just in case you've never seen one before. I've had a small mealy moment recently. I love it. I love this plant. Then we have my smaller, less happy Epipremnum Albo, and this one has had a really hard time adjusting to pot life. I opted to not remove these the other day because they were still like mostly green, but they've kind of like been dying. But this one was a terrarium plant, which I have put into a pot, and that's kind of why it's like all gangly, because the way it grew before was like very gnarled, and trying to fit that into a pot is just difficult. But we did get a new leaf. We have a half moon, I think. Oh, it's a little over half moon, but we have this like really pretty set of leaves right here on this stem. I guess the other one that was a part of it died, depression. But you can see how curled they are. They're actually not thirsty. They just grew like that because of where Devin kept them in his grow tent. So, but yeah, we did get a new leaf. So this is like gonna be a work in progress for a really long time. This is like, it was a plant he literally gave to me for free because he didn't want to freaking deal with it anymore. He was like, I hate this plant, just take it. So we are slowly acclimating her to a more progressive lifestyle. All right, the next plants we're gonna talk about are my Hoya. So I have 12 different Hoya. I have Hoya serpens, Hoya caudata, Hoya matilde, Hoya australis lisa, Hoya australis elisa, Hoya sabah, Hoya carnosa compacta variegata, Hoya crassia petiolata, Hoya ficii, Hoya croniana silver, Hoya curtisii, Hoya pubicalix, Hoya species affinity Bretonii. Those are my Hoya. Let me locate them for you. All right, allow me to recount you with the tail, which is all of my Hoya. We have our little Hoya ficii. I keep this one in a little ball. I keep a lot of my plants in these little like glass balls, and I originally got into this plant because Jenna Marbles had it, and I just thought it was so pretty. And this was part of when I started getting really into like sun stress plants. And I realized my love of veiny plants from this. And this has been a plant that I have just loved, I think, ever since. It is a very slow starting grower though, but I do believe that once you get it going, it will grow faster. And I keep it in this, and then this actually hangs from a hook off of my other little Hoya in a ball. And that is my Hoya crassia petiolata, which just goes everywhere. And this thing is adorable. I love it. It hangs forward like this, and you can see the little hook where the other Hoya actually hangs off of it. And this was originally my plant compromise because I really wanted a Calistophylla, but I did not want to pay for a Calistophylla, and the crassia petiolata grows pretty similarly to a Calistophylla, especially with how it can occasionally get really like curly leaf edges, like wavy leaf edges, and it can get really sun stressed and really veiny like a Calistophylla. So it's not like, it's definitely not the same thing, but it also grows faster than a Calistophylla. It's just good, and it's really long and it goes everywhere. So I have to keep constantly untangling this one from my other plants, but I really like it. I really like this one. Then let's talk about my huge Hoya carnosa compacta. I've talked about this a few times, but originally I actually got this plant because my original one that I had traded for, which was very large, it passed away when I was dealing with my depression, which I'm doing better now, by the way. But my mom actually purchased this one for me to replace the other one. The other one got mealies really bad at like literally the lowest possible point in my depression. And it was too much, and I literally cried as I had to throw it away. I had tried to fix it myself for weeks and weeks, and it was not savable. So I had to toss it, and I cried. I think that's the hardest I've ever cried about losing a plant before. And this one is almost as long as that one was. But this one my mom, I just fucked up major. This one my mom purchased for me. Try to help me feel better. I just really fucked up. Oh, I shouldn't have lost. It's so hard to find like where the even point is on these things, but yeah. And I hang this with fishing line, so it looks more like floating. And this one I didn't want to repot because it's doing so good, so I just actually painted the outside with acrylic, and I did get some of the paint on the plant, but not that much. But I adore this Hoya, and it is incredibly long. I can't wait for it to get as long as the other one that I had was, but this is probably one of my favorite houseplants that I own, if not my favorite one. This is the one I feel like is tied with my variegated Spa Peru. I have my Hoya caudata Sumatra, and this one I actually purchased as a Hoya australis lisa. The place was just selling it for the wrong price, and recently we actually won the battle against mealybugs on this plant. So it has a couple scraggly leaves on it, but it has a bunch of new growth points. So I'm really happy with this one, and it is doing very good. And speaking of mealies, the plant that has been introducing it repetitively into my collection is this. This is my Hoya australis lisa. And this is the one that always gets mealies, like all of the time. So I keep it away from all my other plants now at this point, and I treat it very, very often. And I'm always like staring at it. So I just brought this one out of a very long quarantine. I think that this is a very, very underrated houseplant, and I really like Hoya australis, Lisa. Then we have our last few before we get to the huge Pubicalyx, which is our Hoya species Mathilde, and this one also looks like it may start having mealies. Why do they like Hoya so much? I just treated this one too. We'll have to be careful when we treat it again. I don't want to kill all this new growth. Well, we have another plant care video coming up, it seems. But I'm so happy because it's finally taking off. I actually just untwined this from a Hoya Pubicalyx to bring it over here to show it to you. But this didn't grow for me for like a year. And now it's finally taking off and I'm so excited. It has multiple growth points and yeah, it's doing really, really nice. And all the new leaves that have come in have been really dark and pretty. And originally I got that as a cope plant because the plant I really wanted was the Hoya serpens, which I could not afford at the time, which has little round shaped leaves and looks like this. And this is my Hoya serpens. So I got the Mathilde because it kind of like, it's the same reason I got the Crassipetiolata, except I got the Mathilde like way before I got the Crassipetiolata. But that was originally my like coping plant because I couldn't get this one. And this one is doing really, really nicely. I love the texture on the leaves on this and I absolutely adore the little fuzzy hairs. And I love watching the baby leaves come in. Like look at those tiny little freaking petals. Those little hands, oh, so cute. This is like one of my favorite plants that I have, period. It is so good. I cannot wait for it to get massive. My friend Devin has an absolutely extraordinarily massive Hoya serpens, and he says it's actually like really easy care, so I'm just excited to see how it does. And it's so small, oh my gosh. And I love keeping it in just this cutie little moss cup. And it does really, really good in there. Then we have my Hoya species Aphididae burtonii. And please do not mind the dead leaves. This one is adjusting to life. I had it in a different part of my house for a very long time and I just actually moved it recently and we are finally getting some new leaves. Finally, but we do have a lot of these old dead strands that did not adjust so proper. This is a frequent bloomer and you can get this at any like Lowe's or Home Depot. Not all the time obviously, but usually when I go to mine here, they have this in some form. I, however, do not like the smell of this one's blooms. It smells like pee to me, or like throw up, or just some like really, really gross smell. So the flowers are gorgeous though. They're just very stinky. And I know some people like the smell, but I really don't. And then the last one I'm going to show you before I show you the big one is the Hoya species Sabah, and this was one of the last plants I actually purchased for myself when I stopped buying plants. This is her. I can't really take her out. She does have a new stem coming in 2 different places, and you can see there's a new leaf actually growing out right there against the glass. And then don't mind these died off a while ago. I just haven't cut them off. But you can see I have a type with Hoya, the leaves. Very Callistophilo-like. But I love Hoya Sabah, and I keep it in this huge jar. I may start growing it without a lid on though. And the last Hoya I'm going to show you is my absolutely massive Hoya Pubicalyx Super Splash, and I keep this one. I actually just repotted it. I used to keep it in a basket because it was the only thing that could fit it. But now I keep it in this huge terracotta pot, and I'm constantly checking it for mealybugs because I do not want to deal with it if it were to get mealybugs. This is my Hoya species Croniana Silver, and this is in major bloom right now. It has a lot of blooms, and it smells like lilac. And these are tiny little arrow-shaped leaves which have like they're mostly silver. If you see any white, that's a lie. It's from me accidentally getting white on the leaves when I was painting the pot. But this one has a lot of flowers and it smells perfect. Like literally smells like jasmine. It makes my whole house smell like jasmine. And this one has like 7 or 8 blooms on it right now, and it's about to bloom in a couple other places. You can see right here, these ones are about to start. This is just great. I love it. It does always drop Hoya flowers on my couch though, which is not the best, but I'll take it. I actually need to take this one over to the sink to water it soon. Got another bloom hiding in the back over here. It's fun to sit on my couch and stare up because it's literally just Hoya blooms. And I feel like it never stops blooming. It's literally always blooming, so. I love this one, 10 out of 10. Definitely would recommend. And the final Hoya I want to show you is my Hoya curtisii. And she's cute. She's just cute. This one also has tiny little kind of like arrow-shaped leaves, and these ones are more like speckled. It is a completely different species than the Croniana. And I like this one because it kind of reminds me of string of pearls, but it's a string of pearls I can actually keep alive. Those are my Hoya. Okay, the next category I'm going to tell you about is my Philodendron, and in this category we have Philodendron ilsamanii, Philodendron Spirit of Sancti, Burley Marks Fantasy, White Princess, Micans Halo, Micans Aurea, Gloriosum, Plowmanii, which I am not going to be showing you, Postazanum Silver, my Ring of Fires, my Florida Beauty, my Pink Princess, my Red Anderson, my Strawberry Shakes, and my Brazil. Okay, I've located the Philodendron. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with the big ones. So here we have Philodendron Brazil, and like the Hoya pubicalyx, this is one I actually did not enjoy until I saw it at Harley's house. And I think it was just like, there's something about seeing it online versus seeing it in person, and all of the different color variations that can grow in, like this bit right here. So gorgeous, all these ones. And then this stem right here. I really love the full and the half moons on the Brazils. And I really love it when they do this. I can show you. Like this specific leaf right there, I think is so pretty. Oh, it's so nice. And mine is a little empty at the top. It's a little nakey. But it grows very fast, and it probably could be growing faster. It would probably be growing larger leaves if I didn't let it trail. But I like it when plants trail. I don't really like growing plants that climb. They've never been my thing, but she's really pretty and I like her. This plant also is from the urban jungle. Then we have Philodendron micans, and this is another one I'm just completely obsessed with. You can see it's a little sun stressed. My south facing windows do get pretty bright light, and because of that, this plant just thrives. Like, it's just doing so good. This is another one from Urban Jungle, and all of the leaves are just so red and iridescent, and I love the pot that it's in. It's very big. I bought this one very recently too, probably like 3 months ago, and it is doing very nice for only being 3 months. I'm really happy with it. Let's stick with the micans theme for a minute. So here we have a little Micans Halo. This is a variety of variegated micans, and it really just grows like kind of deformed leaves naturally. Its variegation style is very interesting. It's very like internal variegation. It's not my favorite, but I love micans, and having the different varieties I really like. The only type of mican I won't own is the pink One, I think they look really bad. I think they look like someone dyed them that color. But the other variegated mican I do really like is the Mican Aurea. And I have 3 of these in here actually. Allow me to show you my newest one. This one I just grew in from a cutting. Like, are you kidding? That's so, so gorgeous. And then we have my other new one. And this one seems to actually be like melting a little bit. So this one's not doing like the absolute best. But it is really colorful. And those, I've got both of those leaves from reverted completely green cuttings. And I bought those because the person who I originally got my Aurea from said that hers originally came from her buying a reverted cutting because it's all she could afford at the time. Because variegated micans Aurea are very, very expensive. Even now, they're still like about $100 for like a decent one. And mine did put out a couple like kind of green leaves, which is sedge. Like we got this completely green one here that just has a little fleck of color on that little corner. But underneath it, we have more Aurea leaves. They're just not super high color. So this newest leaf right here is super, super gorge. And it just looks like a really pretty full pot of like variegated micans, Aurea variegated micans. And this is another one of my favorite plants. This one, the Peru, and then my Hoya compacta, literally perfect. You can't go wrong. They're just so pretty. It's also giving me a new leaf right now, so I'm excited to see it. And these are ones where you can't really see the variegation before it hardens. So this one just finished hardening and I think it is literally gorgeous. Literally perfect. Doesn't get much better than that. All right, then I want to show you my little pink princess cutting. It looks really sad because it is a cutting that was just stuck in some dirt, but it's giving me a new leaf, which I'm hopeful for. Then we have my Philodendron Red Anderson here. And I love it. The newest leaf is so gorge. This was the leaf before it. Look at that. Ugh, look at all that white. It's so pretty. And then this one, so pretty. It did just lose a leaf to age, but this one is really pretty. And Devin gave me this plant sometime in 2022 as a cutting, and it just never grew. And then it recently started growing for me, and it's actually putting out a new leaf again already. We have my variegated Philodendron Heteracea, and she's cute. She started very green, and now she's gotten very light colored. Got another new leaf coming in again already, and I do need to add some more moss to this. Look at the root. So pretty. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leaves with another one on the way. And I love this one. This is just a variegated heart leaf. So if you see those green heart leaves, either called like Heteracea or Cordatum, which are actually not the same species, they just look like it. This is a variegated Heteracea. I really like variegated plants. I really, really, really do. Then we have my Florida Beauty. So this is one of them. And I need to air layer this so it will start growing. I even have a stick in here, so I'm ready to do it. But she's cute. I like her. And then I recently got a second one. This was actually given to me as from a gal as a birthday present. And it's very bleached. Getting too much light, this one's just green. But it is also putting out a new leaf right now. You can see it kind of peeking out the top right there, that little white nub at the top. So I'm gonna pot these up together soon, and then I'm gonna air layer this one, and I'll probably stick this one on there. So it'll be like one big plant. It'll be really pretty. Then we have one of my favorite plants. This is my Philodendron Strawberry Shake. And we did just get a new leaf. This one looks very like brown and muddy right now because it's still hardening. It's going to look very similar to this one once it's done in terms of color. And I actually have two in here. This one's tucked into the air layer, and this is my smaller one. And it's really cute. This was its newest leaf right here. And then this one is doing really good too. I think it actually just switched to caterpillar growth as well, which is big exciting. So, and this one had 3 other leaves, but they just kind of popped off, which was really depressing. So yeah, I love this leaf though. This one came out really good. So I'm excited to see this one. I really like it. Then we have Ring of Fire. This is my Ring of Fire, and I actually got this from Zamzows, and it's really cute. It's also sun stressing, which is why you see some of this like pink around the sides. And I'm really happy with this one. I haven't really grown this plant since I started taking care of plants. I got a huge Ring of Fire from this place called Dennis 7Ds in Portland, but this one is just so cute, and the prices for these just came down so much. I paid $17 for this, and it's giving me a new leaf as well. You can't see it, I don't think, but it's sticking out of the little caterpillar down there. Brand new friend. So I will have gotten 2 new leaves on this one by the time this one unfurls. And I love it. And I am loving, by the way, having switched my plants out of my cabinet. I used to grow all of these in like 3 or 4 different cabinets, and it's been a very slow process switching everyone out of the cabinets, but I love having everything in pots so much more now. And this is my Philodendron Silver Pastazana, and she's super pretty. I got this for $7 from Zamzows. Got a new leaf. It looks like a calla lily coming in, and I'm excited. This one, I think this new leaf is gonna be huge, so I'm super excited to see it finally open. Then we have my Philodendron Gloriosum, and this is another one I am so obsessed with. It also has a brand new leaf coming in as well. This pot was not its original pot, by the way, this is. So just ignore that reduced tag. And I love it. This is called a Gloriosum Zebra. So it has much more defined lines on it than the other Gloriosum. I love it. This is one I didn't think I would ever really like. I've never really been a huge fan of Gloriosum before, but something about it recently, it just hit me like, it hit different. I don't know. I think it's so gorgeous. Our last few, this is my Philodendron White Princess, and I'm really sorry, but this is just gonna be harder for you to see. But it's super cute. And we got new growth coming in finally on this one. It has been really hard to convince this one to regrow for me, but we have finally done it. Then we have our Philodendron Burley Marks Fantasy, which is doing very nicely. Here's our newest leaf right there. And this actually has 9, I think 9 or 10 leaves on it, but the other ones are like buried down low, like into the moss down there. So I'm really happy with this one. I would like to upgrade its jar soon though. When I put it in here, it was 1 leaf. And the final one, or final 2 I want to show you is my Philodendron Ilsamanii, which is in here. And it's a very little guy. I am not going to be disturbing it. It's very small. Very, very small. And mine is so small because I cut up my major one quite a few times over the years. During that year I wasn't working, I actually used it to help pay for like a lot of rent, which was really hard to like sell because this used to be my very favorite plant ever. Now, like I told you earlier, it's definitely like the Micans aurea and the variegated Carnosa compacta and the aurea spa Peru. I also really adore this one, but the Ilsamanii was actually the plant that first got me into plant collecting in the first place. But yeah, I have two friends that are gonna give me a cutting of their Ilsamanii soon, which they originally got from me. One of them was a trade, and the other one I just gave. I think I've given like Devin like 3 or 4 different Ilsamanii cuttings. It's a very like try and fail plant if you don't traditionally grow with moss in terrariums, which I do. So I've never had an issue with them, but it is kind of a hard plant for people to get down sometimes. So yeah, I'm gonna be getting like cuttings of my larger one back again. And then the final one I want to show you, I actually grow on my Monstera aurea plate. And this is my little Spiritus Sancti. And it's given me quite a few leaves since I've gotten it. It's actually putting out another new one right now. This is right now my fastest growing Philodendron by far. And every new leaf is bigger. It's just doing really good. It's given me, I think, 3 new leaves since I got it. Soon to be 4. And that big one is the newest one right there. And those are my Philodendron. Let me put them back and I'll get you the next set of plants. The next category I'm going to show you is my etc. category, which includes my Ficus liratas, my Ficus altissima, my Begonia maculata whitei, my ponytail palm, my money tree, my bonnie spider plant, my ZZ chameleon, my variegated string of hearts, and my geometrizans little stacker, as well as my variegated syndapsis jade aurea. Let's start with the ones that I can show you right here, and then there's quite a few that I'm gonna have to like take you around to. So this is my money tree, and this was originally a variegated money tree, but Raven broke off the variegated part. So now it's just a money tree. It's the only plant crime she has ever committed. But it's okay, we will simply find another variegated money tree in the wild at a Home Depot. That's where I found this one. Then we have my ZZ chameleon, and I wish I had a better example of this to show you right now, but I don't. It hasn't really given me new growth lately, and I do keep it in a very bright spot, but generally this ZZ has new strands that are coming in, new stems that are very white and minty, and this is one of my favorite common plants. You can see a little bit of minty leftovers on these other like older, newer strands. Then we have, gosh, just one of my favorite plants. This is my Begonia maculata whitei, and it is like disgustingly gorgeous. You can definitely see that this is the front. This is the side that faces the window, and it is giving me new leaves on every stem, and it's also giving me 2 new stems right now as well. And I just adore this plant so much. It is such an underrated begonia, and you can actually find this like so many places. You can find this at your grocery store, you can find this at your local home improvement stores, your Home Depots. And this is a comeback. I actually had this, I've had this plant specifically since 2021, this exact one. And it didn't do very good for a while, so I took a bunch of cuttings, rooted them for like 5.5, 6 months, maybe longer than that actually. And then I replanted all the cuttings, and now we have a new one. So I was able to save it, which was really good because it's so good, dude. That's amazing. So pretty. Then we have my gorgeous spider plant. I love this thing. I love it so much. It has so many little babies coming off of it. And I do have to keep this out of my cat's way. It's not toxic, but she does really, really like to eat them. So she's not allowed to be near it, and you know it. You're not allowed to spider plants. But she chews them. She chews them so much. She's killed like 2 of my spider plants. This one actually looks a little pale right now because I do need to water it. But I adore this thing. It's so gorgeous. Then we have my fiddly figs. I have 2 fiddle leaf figs. One of them is absolutely massive and I keep it by my desk. And the other one I keep by my back door. And those are my plants. There is probably 5 or 6 plants I did not show you because they're adjusting. And I only really wanna, I don't know if they're gonna last, so I don't wanna put them in a collection video because I use these collection videos to reference like how my collection has changed. And I really only count the plants that are like a part of my collection as plants that I know are gonna last. Like I do also have this prop box that has plants in here I did not tell you about, but like who knows if they're gonna make it, you know, so. Those are all of my plants, all 59. I technically only showed you 58 because I did not show you my Plymanii because it is a stump and it's very depressing to look at, so. That is gonna be this video. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me while I show you my entire plant collection. I don't remember the last time I filmed one of these. It was a really, really, really long time ago, so. Thanks for hanging out with me and let me know if you added anything to your wish list, if you liked anything. I'm trying to keep my collection pretty minimal and everything I keep out in this living room, and I think it all looks really pretty together. I try to style everything so it doesn't just look like a bunch of like hoarding plants. And it actually looks like it's like worked into my house. So thank you so much for watching and being here, and I'll see you guys in the next houseplant section. Bye-bye.